What is happening, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. It's probably time for another update on the garage build. We've been getting some beautiful weather here. 30-degree plus. I think later this week it's supposed to be up to like mid 30s, high 30s degrees Celsius, by the way. Super hot days. So trying to get some more work done here. If you watched the first episode, you obviously would have known that we were working on the insulation, getting that done, as well upgrading the lighting in the garage. As well, I touched on kind of the future plans. But yeah, so today I figured kind of update you guys on where we're at. Also, before I show you what the backyard looks like right now, I'm just gonna throw in some clips that was recorded a couple weeks back before we ended up ripping up some of the grass and digging out the trench. We've ended up doing a little bit of work in the backyard as far as landscaping. Originally I wasn't going to include that, but since I guess the gas line and the landscaping kind of overlap a little bit, I figured why not? So I'm gonna throw in those clips right now and we'll go outside, give you a bit of a tour, show you what's going on. As I discussed in the first episode, we actually ended up picking up our new, or actually used, window. And as I said before, that window is gonna go on that wall of the garage. So yeah, picked this one up actually used for like $100. Pretty good deal, I think. Apologize if it's a little bright, it's pretty sunny out right now. As you can see, the stepping stones we already had. We put these in shortly after we actually moved in. But we need to add a little bit more. But anyways, for our future plans, what we're going to do is down the sides of the house, each side, and as well on this side of the garage, we're gonna do like a dark gray rock. Still looking into exactly which one we need, and then we're gonna have to get that on order. Also mulch. So as you can see right now, it's pretty plain. I don't know if it shows up. You can see where we kind of marked out our lines here. So we kind of have one bed flowing. We figured we might as well rip up the areas that aren't even growing and turn them into plant beds. But you can kind of see how it, if it shows up, you can kind of see how it flows around here. So this will be one bed. Back here is where the shed is gonna go. So I think we're gonna set it in a little bit, so maybe kind of 4 or 5 feet in from the edge of the garage, and then just kind of flowing all the way back to the fence. So this whole area we'll build a shed in here to help kind of clear some of the clutter out of the garage, and I'll show that complete project as well. But then the other bed, this whole way back is gonna end up being mulch, and you kind of see where the edging flows alongside the garage, free flowing, and then it's going to come kind of hug around this turn and then flare out back to the patio. And then on the other side we kind of have a mirror as well, where you can kind of see it bends back up to the garage. And so then the stepping stones are going to be between the mulch along the whole front side here of the garage, and then obviously over there as well. But yeah, and then also, like I said, rock all the way down here as well. And then on top of that, on the other side of the gate where we have our driveway, we'll be doing rock down either side of the driveway. We actually weren't going to do the gas line as quick as we ended up doing it. I decided that it would make the most sense, since we have to run a trench for the gas line, that we do that first and get that done before we end up doing our landscaping, just to save us, I guess, time and energy from ripping up our landscaping and doing it all over again and basically doing work twice. So we figured that we might as well get the gas line all done and installed. That way we can get it put back together, the trench refilled, and get the landscaping done, and then kind of move on from there. If you haven't checked out the first episode, definitely go make sure you do that, just so you can kind of get looped in on the plans for this series and what's going on. As you can see, done a decent amount. Got the grass kind of all cut out here. And this is where we kind of had our walking path in the grass before. Now all this area where you see just dirt is going to be mulch, plant beds, and then plant bed over on this side, kind of around the basement window. But the main focus is this trench. As you can see, we had the plumber out, installed all the gas line. It's not hooked up on this side. We're just leaving it uninstalled until later in the summer, fall, when we go buy the heater. We'll get the rest of that plumbed and installed and get the heater kind of set up in the corner of the garage. But as you can see, just running all the way down You can see the gas line and then also just the tracking wire. But yeah, I had to dig the trench 18 inches deep, basically piled all of our dirt down the side of the house. So that's what we used to refill it. Before we had finished the basement, we decided when installing kind of the ceiling and everything in the basement, we ended up getting a plumber out for the barbecue, and we decided it would make sense to run a bigger gas line at the exact same time. And that was purely just in case we ever wanted to run a gas line like we're doing right now. We wanted to have that done so we're not ripping out the ceiling of our basement. But yeah, had the plumber out, ran the whole line. I also decided that since we had the trench here, we might as well add TV in the garage. So since we already had the trench there, I figured why not make use of it, and I decided to go pick up coax cable. So I figured since the garage is getting heated, theoretically we could have a TV and cable out here. So I mean, what would make a garage better, you know? The dream. Got ourselves a 50-foot coax cable, so I'm just basically gonna run this right through the trench, right along the gas line. And then I'll show you guys in a second, but where some of the power cables are coming up on the garage side of the yard, basically we have a gray pipe coming up out of the ground, and then just one of these boxes that will mount into the trim or the siding on the garage. So what this is for is the house side. We'll take this. So as you can see, we got one just like it on the garage. And as you can see, running down this little pipe is just the power cable, which was obviously already running through the backyard before we bought the home. And so what we'll do is on the garage side, we'll utilize this exact same pipe. So basically I'll just run the coax cable up here and into this box. And then, like I said, trenched right along the gas line. And this side, we will end up mounting this box somewhere here on the house. And then obviously the coax cable will come down, back up that pipe that I showed you earlier into this box. And we'll just kind of leave the coax cable wrapped up in here for now until we end up kind of running it along the siding into the basement where we can kind of connect it to where we need to. So then later on, once everything's heated, we can have a working TV out there as well. So yeah, lots to do. I guess today is just the focus is going to be basically getting that trench refilled, packed down the best we can, and get some grass back in our yard. And then I think after that, it'll be the mulch in all the garden beds, rocks down the side of the house. Basically what I want to do in this video is kind of show you a complete start to finish of the backyard. Something that I wasn't originally planning to do in this series, but I figured since there's kind of some overlap with the gas line that we just ran, we might as well, I guess, show you that. I think the backyard will actually look pretty cool once it's complete, so I figured a little before and after, we might as well take advantage of that. And then I think in episode 3, it'll probably be, I believe, probably adding in the window in this wall here, you know, workbenches, shelves, cabinets, that sort of thing. I think that's kind of the following plans after that. Excited to get this wrapped up so we can finally just enjoy our backyard this summer, and then our attention can move back to the garage. And like I said earlier, I think the heater will be somewhere up in that corner. I think that's where it'll probably get mounted. So obviously in this hot heat, we don't really need it, but later on towards the end of summer in the fall, that's probably when I'll look into buying a unit. Unless I find one around on a good sale or good price here this summer. If I do, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, we'll go from there. Alright guys, so ended up getting the full trench refilled. As you can see, just ended up slowly refilling it with all the dirt that we had down the side of the house. And yeah, just slowly refilled it. Stepped on it, packed it every so often just to prevent it from sinking too much in the future and getting a bit of a dip in your sod or your grass. Now what we're going to do actually is just top this with a little bit of topsoil and get some new sod and run it right through here. And that soil will just give the new sod something to kind of root to. And then what we're going to end up doing is all this area that was previously discussed. We're going to get all this black edging put in to all these areas. And then we may even try to get to the mulch. I think I have my mom and dad coming over to help today to try and get a little bit more done. But yeah, so get sod back in here so that hopefully over the next couple weeks this trench will no longer be a thing, which will be sweet. And yeah, maybe get the edging and the mulch in all the garden beds. I guess also before we end up getting the mulch in, we'll have to end up pulling all these weeds. But yeah, I got a little bit of work to do. So the next update might be with all the edging, sod, and even the mulch might be in. So let's get going.